These are the guys, Barney?
Yeah.
I got this, Thumbo.
Call me dead again.
My turn, bitch!
The movie kicks off with Stallone playing Barney, the head honcho of the Expendables. He's on a mission to round up a squad of fighters who've still got enough fight left in them. But before diving into the action, Barney hops on his sleek motorcycle and swings by Christmas's place for some backup. Last night, Barney had been drinking at a bar and ended up gambling away a cherished ring in a bet he couldn't win. Feeling embarrassed, he turns to Christmas for help getting it back. Christmas, who's used to seeing Barney as an unstoppable force, is a bit taken aback by how things have changed. Barney explains he's got a bad back and can't fight anymore, leaving Christmas with no choice but to help. The two head back to the bar, where Barney's ring now sits on the prosthetic hand of a thug. Christmas shakes his head at the absurdity of the situation. He tries to play nice at first, politely asking the thug to return the ring. But the guy and his crew are cocky and not interested in playing fair. So Christmas slips on his brass knuckles and gets to work. He starts swinging, taking out one thug after another with a series of quick punches. Even the leader doesn't stand a chance, and soon the entire group is sprawled on the floor. Just when it seems like the fight is over, a massive guy, easily over 6.5 feet tall and weighing close to 300 pounds, grabs Christmas. Things look dicey, but Barney suddenly springs into action, pulling out a gun and shooting the thug's prosthetic. Then, with a swift move, Barney flips the giant to the ground, ending the fight. Christmas looks at Barney, unimpressed by his back injury excuse, but the two leave with the ring and head back to their secret base. Meanwhile, over in Libya, a mysterious army launches a brutal attack on a warlord's base. Armed helicopters rain down missiles, turning the place into a war zone. Tanks and armored vehicles storm the gates, mowing down anyone in their path. The warlord's men put up a fight, but they're no match for the air power. After the chaos, the leader of this shadowy force, Hut, moves in to confront the warlord. His men clear a path for him with ruthless precision, and Hut sneaks into the warlord's office, disguised as one of his soldiers. Once inside, he takes the warlord hostage, demanding the nuclear warheads he's been hiding. At first, the warlord refuses, but Hut's men take his family hostage, forcing him to give up the weapons. Back at their base, Barney and his team get word about their next mission. The CIA's Director Marsh shows up to brief them, revealing that Hut's plan involves selling the stolen warheads to a dangerous client known only as Panther. Nobody knows much about Panther, not even what he looks like, but the stakes are high. If Panther gets his hands on the warheads, global chaos is inevitable. What's more, Panther has a history with Barney, having been the mastermind behind several of Barney's past missions. With no time to lose, the team gears up and takes off for the warlord's base. As they approach the base in their plane, things go south fast. Anti-aircraft missiles lock onto them, forcing Barney to release flares to intercept the incoming missiles. He manages an emergency landing, and the team drives out in modified off-road vehicles, while Barney takes off again. On the ground, they discover Hut is already on the move with the nuclear warheads. Gunner, the team sniper, tries to take a shot, but misses, giving Hut enough time to escape. A high-speed chase ensues, with Christmas and the others trying to catch up to Hut's convoy. Gunfire erupts, and Christmas mans a heavy machine gun, taking out some of Hut's men. But the enemy's numbers and firepower are overwhelming. Gunner switches tactics, aiming for oil barrels instead of the men, causing a massive explosion that takes out one of the trucks. The chase leads them to a warehouse, where Hut's convoy splits up. The team is forced to do the same, navigating the maze-like interior. Christmas's vehicle gets damaged, leaving him without heavy weaponry. He improvises, jumping onto an enemy truck, taking out the driver, and finishing off the rest of the crew in close combat. Meanwhile, the rest of the team gains the upper hand as well, using grenades to flip enemy vehicles and clear a path. From above, Barney provides updates on Hut's location, guiding the team in real time. Christmas catches up to Hut's armored car, but Hut counters by manning a heavy machine gun. Just then, Barney's plane is hit by another missile, leaving it crippled. Barney orders Christmas to focus on retrieving the warheads, but Christmas disobeys, attempting to take out the anti-aircraft gun instead. He rigs his vehicle with explosives, jumps out before it detonates, and destroys the gun in a fiery blast. Despite Christmas's efforts, Hutt manages to escape on an evacuation plane. He fires several shots at Barney's already damaged aircraft, causing it to crash into a warehouse. Christmas rushes to the scene, only to find Barney's unrecognizable body. Overcome with guilt and grief, Christmas is expelled from the Expendables for disobeying orders. Gina, Christmas's girlfriend, temporarily takes over as team leader, tasked with continuing the mission to stop Hutt. Back home, Christmas spirals into a funk. He picks up a job as a bodyguard for a social media influencer, but it's a disaster. The influencer's obnoxious behavior pushes Christmas over the edge, and after a heated argument, Christmas knocks him out with a punch, ending his short-lived job. Feeling lost, he clings to Barney's ring, determined to seek revenge. That night, he visits Gina's place, searching for mission files. Instead, he stumbles upon documents suggesting that the organization suspects Panther is hiding within their ranks, and Christmas himself is a suspect. Gina catches him snooping, and when Christmas asks to rejoin the Expendables to clear his name, she refuses. Undeterred, Christmas decides to charm his way back in. He playfully wrestles with Gina, which quickly escalates into something more passionate. Afterward, he tries once more to convince her, but she stands firm. Before leaving, he gives her a dagger as a gift, secretly hiding a GPS tracker and listening device in it. The next day, Gina leads the team on a new mission. Marsh has intel that Hutt hijacked a merchant ship carrying the warheads and is headed toward Russia. The CIA suspects Panther's plan is to detonate the bombs, framing the US and sparking World War III. Marsh joins the operation, stressing the urgency of stopping the attack. Christmas, now aware of the mission thanks to the tracker, heads to Thailand to find Tisha, an old friend of Barney's. Tisha is wary of Christmas at first, but changes his mind after seeing Barney's ring. With Tisha's help, Christmas secures a boat to board the merchant ship, determined to take down Hutt and avenge Barney once and for all. That night, Tisha was at the helm, steering the yacht straight toward the merchant ship's location. Meanwhile, Gina's team took to the skies, flying in a plane that dropped them over the ship under the cover of darkness. When they landed, something fell off. The whole place was way too quiet, eerie even. Gunner, drawing on his instincts from countless missions, sensed trouble. They were already on board, though, so Gina had no time to overthink. She quickly split the team. One group, led by her, headed for the control room, while the rest made their way to the cargo hold, hunting for those nuclear warheads. As Gina's squad moved through the ship, the silence was deafening. Not a single soul in sight. When they finally reached the control room, it was completely empty, which only made things weirder. Before they could piece things together, guns emerged from the shadows, pointing straight at them. The other team met the same fate. Just like that, all of them were captured. It was clear they'd been set up, a trap, and a damn good one at that. Locked in a warehouse, they couldn't help but remember how their last mission against the warlord had gone similarly wrong. Someone on the enemy side had tipped them off early. Was it happening again? Everyone started questioning Marsh's intel. He swore his info was solid, but doubt hung heavy in the air. Things took a turn when the warehouse door creaked open, and Marsh, their leader, was dragged out by the enemy. The rest of the team was left behind, confused and unsure of what to do. Meanwhile, Christmas had caught up with the merchant ship. He hooked onto the stern and climbed up the rope. As he moved through the ship, it didn't take long for him to figure out something had gone wrong. Gina's team hadn't succeeded. Quietly, he searched for them, but was soon caught off guard. An enemy pressed a gun to the back of his head. Playing it cool, Christmas surrendered, but the second the enemy let their guard down, he struck fast, jamming a knife into their throat. Pressing on, Christmas made it to the deck, where he spotted the ship flying an American flag. It didn't take him long to connect the dots. Hoot and Panther were planning to use the guise of America to launch a nuclear strike on Russia. Time wasn't on his side. Christmas had to find his team and stop this disaster. Back in the cargo hold, he took out 3 guards, leaving one alive to interrogate. From the guard's radio, he overheard Hoot. Without missing a beat, Christmas picked it up and started trading threats. He made it clear he'd take them all down. Tossing the radio aside, he bolted toward the warehouse to free the team. The rescue wasn't a cakewalk. Enemies swarmed the ship, but Christmas slipped into battle mode. His shots were deadly accurate, his moves swift and unpredictable. The enemies didn't stand a chance. At one point, Christmas spotted some tricked-out motorcycles equipped with machine guns. He hopped on one, revved it up, and let loose. Bullets flew everywhere as he mowed down anyone in his way. The chase took him from the cargo hold to the dining area, back to the deck, and eventually to a runway. Along the way, he dealt with persistent henchmen, including one particularly stubborn rider who got a nasty surprise when Christmas fired from a hidden spot. By now, Gina and her crew had found a way to escape their confinement. They discovered a drain at the bottom of the cargo hold and worked together to pry it open. Crawling out, they crossed paths with Christmas, who was on his way to rescue them. Together, they reached the cargo hold, where the nuclear bomb was stored. The situation was grim. The bomb was already ticking, with just 27 minutes left. Disabling it required a special switch, and it was clear that the enemy still had it. The team wasted no time. They figured the switch was with Hoot and headed straight for him. On the deck, Hoot's men surrounded a bulldozer, only to discover too late that it was rigged with explosives. The blast cleared a path for the Expendables, who charged in guns blazing. Christmas led the way, landing headshots with pinpoint accuracy. Whip Girl showed off her skills, using her whip to disarm and confuse enemies. Even Gunner, who initially struggled with his shaky aim, found his groove after a few swigs of liquor, transforming into a sharpshooter. As the battle raged on, Hoot sent in his elite fighters. Whip Girl and Tisha teamed up to take them down, combining her whip work with his martial arts expertise. Eventually, Tisha kicked one of the enemies straight into the cargo hold, ending the fight in spectacular fashion. Meanwhile, Christmas reached the control room and confronted Hoot. Demanding the bomb switch, he was met with resistance. Hoot pulled out a baton, challenging Christmas to a fight. The two clashed fiercely, their battle moving across different levels of the ship. Despite Hoot's skills, Christmas was better. He pinned Hoot down, demanding answers, but what Hoot revealed was a shock. He didn't have the switch. It was with Panther, who turned out to be none other than Marsh, the team's supposed ally and the movie's main villain. On the deck, Marsh made his entrance with a crew of his own. When Christmas demanded the switch, Marsh tossed it into the sea, laughing as he ordered his men to kill everyone. Bullets rained down, pinning the Expendables. They needed to escape the ship before the bomb went off. Tisha suggested using his boat, which was following close by. Seizing the moment, the team fought back and made their way to the stern, climbing onto Tisha's boat one by one. When it was Christmas's turn, he hesitated. He couldn't leave yet. Christmas went back to the control room, determined to change the ship's course. Using the anchor as a pivot, he managed to turn the ship around. Marsh sent more men to stop him, but Christmas held them off, fighting alone. Just as things seemed hopeless, missiles came flying in from a distance, clearing the enemies. Barney, piloting a helicopter, had come to the rescue. After sinking the merchant ship with a well-placed missile strike, Barney explained to Christmas that he'd faked his death to investigate Marsh. With the mission complete, the helicopter flew off into the horizon, ending the explosive adventure.